Hello everyone and welcome into Coach Craig's Sports. This is the MLB DFS Core Pick video for Friday, April 4th. If you're joining me for the very first time, first of all, welcome in. Second of all, this is how today's video will be structured. We'll be going over my core picks, which is going to be one pitcher, four hitters. It's going to be based on a combination of past performance versus their respective opponent, as well as recent history. And then after that, I will be moving over to my cheat sheet and talking about my top GPP teams to stack for the slate overall. And then in the morning, I will be listing up a weather report for any games that do have a double-digit chance of rain or higher. And then as the day moves along, I will be posting as many of these starting lineups as I can get to down in that comment section as well. If there are any updates to the core, mainly if any of these guys do not ultimately end up starting, if any games get rained out or anything else like that, that will be left down there as a pinned comment as well. But without further ado, we'll get started with our core picks, and we're going to start off at the pitcher position with Jose Soriano of the Los Angeles Angels. Goes against the Cleveland Guardians. He's $9,300 coming off a really strong start to start off the year against the Chicago White Sox. He has some pretty decent but limited history versus this Guardians team in the past. He had 30 and 37 fantasy points versus them in 2024, but definitely do like his upside. You know, the Guardians are one of those teams, they can go out on any given night and have a decent offensive performance, but they can also go out on any given night and be pretty lackluster at the same time as well. We're going to move down to our first hitter with shortstop Geraldo Perdomo, $2,600. He's averaging just under 11 fantasy points per game on the season. He goes against the Washington Nationals. Jake Irvin is the expected starting pitcher for them. He is 2 for 5 versus Jake Irvin in his career. And with that being said, Geraldo Perdomo is off to a really strong start to the season. He's hit safely in 6 out of his 7 games, 2 multi-hit games, 0 home runs, but he does have 5 double-digit performances. So at $2,600, looks like a really good value overall there. He is a .320 batting average, 1 home run, and 11 RBIs. That's quite a few RBIs for 7 games, so definitely do like his upside once again, especially in a positive matchup. Then we're going to move down to outfield with his teammate Lourdes Gurriel Jr. He's $3,000. He also goes against the Washington Nationals and Jake Irvin on the mound. 2 for 4 versus Jake Irvin in his career. If we look at what Lourdes Gurriel has done as of late, he's hit safely in 4 out of his last 5 starts, 2 multi-hit games, 2 home runs, 3 double-digit performances, and all 5 of those games have been at least 9 fantasy points or higher. So definitely do like that safe floor at $3,000. You know, you're at least getting 9 fantasy points. Does come with some pretty decent upside at the same time as well. .222 batting average, 2 home runs, and 6 RBIs on the season. So definitely do like that upside and the potential stackability of this Arizona Diamondbacks team overall. Then we're going to move down to another outfielder in Cedric Mullins. He is $3,200, averaging just under 19 fantasy points per game on the season. And if we look at what he's done so far, he's hit safely in 5 out of 7 games, 2 multi-hit games, 3 home runs, and 4 double-digit performances. 2 for 3 versus Seth Lugo, the expected starting pitcher for the Kansas City Royals. And in total on the season, he's got a .308 batting average, 3 home runs, 11 RBIs. So a really strong start to the year for him, coming off a pretty lackluster spring training, if we're being honest. And then last but not least, we're going with Bobby Witt Jr. of the Kansas City Royals. He's going against Dean Kramer. He is 3 for 8 with 1 home run versus Dean Kramer in his career. He has hit safely in 5 out of the 6 games so far this season. Only 1 multi-hit game though, 0 home runs, only 2 double-digit performances, but does have at least 9 fantasy points in 5 of those 6 games so far this season. So a relatively safe floor. Obviously, you're looking for at least double-digit points out of somebody that's $4,100, but at the same time, definitely do like the upside of Bobby Witt Jr. There's a lot of high-priced shortstop on this slate overall, and he is the one that stands out to me the most. But he has a .240 batting average, 0 home runs, 3 RBIs. Obviously, a slow start to the season, but a positive matchup versus Dean Kramer and the Baltimore Orioles for Friday. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have listed here, you have $12,800 remaining. $3,200 remaining per player, so a decent amount of money remaining. Probably looking a little bit more like a balanced build, but definitely feel free to mix and match as you do see fit. Once again, with these picks, you do not necessarily have to play all 5 together. Obviously, stacks will play a big role for MLB DFS just in general. And speaking of stacks, we'll get moved over to my cheat sheet and talk about my top teams to stack for Friday's slate. So we are going to start off with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Obviously, 2 of them are in my core picks, but they're going against Jake Irvin. Looks like a really positive matchup, and a good handful of these hitters have hit him pretty well in the past, although it is a limited sample size. Moving over to the Kansas City Royals, they have hit Dean Kramer pretty well in the past. Kramer is a guy that can give up runs in bunches, or he can kind of come out and be a solid starter. So A little bit hit or miss there, but definitely do like the upside of those Royals bats in this matchup. Cincinnati Reds going against Tyler Alexander as the expected starting pitcher or, primary bulk reliever for the Milwaukee Brewers. Not much history versus him in the past, but definitely do like that upside. Once again, the only guy that does have a long history versus him is going to be Jose Trevino. So if you want to play him as catcher, $2,300. He's a decent pay down option at that. And then last but not least, I have the Texas Rangers going against Zach Lytle of the Tampa Bay Rays. Most of these hitters have hit him pretty well, although it is a very, very small sample size. But with that being said, that's what I do have in terms of my core picks as well as top GPP stacks for Friday, April 4th. As always, if you have any questions related to MLB DFS, be sure to drop them down in the comment section of this video and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. And then once again, in the morning, I will be listing my weather report. I'll be listing as many of the starting lineups as I can get to throughout the day down in that comment section, as well as any potential updates to my core. That's mainly just going to be if guys don't ultimately end up starting, or if a game gets rained out or looks like it has a high likelihood of either being postponed or delayed. So definitely be on the lookout for all that. But with that being said, if you are brand new to my channel, checking it out for the very first time, or have yet to subscribe, please consider doing so. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Right now, we have MLB DFS in terms of the core picks Monday through Friday. I also have my UFL DFS video coming out once a week. Typically, that's going to be on Tuesdays. I know this week it was on Wednesday. Might vary a little bit week to week, but definitely some really good information over there. So if that's something of interest to you or you want to check it out for the very first time, definitely would recommend that. And then I will also be posting some NFL draft content as we do head into the actual NFL draft. And then last but not least, if you're interested in sports betting, if you're interested in prop betting whatsoever, be sure to check out the links and promo codes down in the description below for BetUS, Parlay Play, and Prize Picks. If you are a brand new user on any one of those three sites, when you sign up, make your initial deposit, you will get a first match deposit bonus. For Prize Picks and Parlay Play, it's 100% match up to $100. And then for BetUS, it's 125% match up to $2,000. So some pretty great opportunities to be had over there. If you have any other additional questions related to that whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me, whether it's down in the comment section of this video or on Twitter at Coach Craig Sport, and we would be more than happy to help you with that journey as well. But with that being said, that's all that I truly have for today's video. Definitely do appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. Definitely means a lot to me. I hope that each and every one of you have a great rest of your day and some pretty good luck in MLB DFS for Friday, April 4th.